Hello, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know who I am, my name is Shook. I make videos for NBA. I make price fix videos. All these videos, they get posted on this subreddit right here. I make updates with all the news that comes out throughout the day. Anything you need, you can ask me questions about the slate. All that good stuff, I'll have it linked down below. And if you ever need to get a hold of me privately, you can get a hold of me on Discord or Twitter right there. So I just made my video. I uploaded it, ran into an issue, so I'm recording this video again. So we're not gonna do a recap. I cashed yesterday, did not cash tonight. I nuked sports books, so it was a profitable day overall. We'll see how Showdown goes, but we're gonna fly right through this. Apologies, because yeah, already recorded it, spent 20 minutes doing it again. So yeah. All right, let's start with the best game to target, or best team to target, in my opinion, on this slate. Absolutely love Halliburton going up against the Lakers here. I'm not going to go too into detail just because I got to get prize pick stuff done after spending 30 minutes recording and it failing. So yeah, we'll go through this again really quickly. Not going to go into detail. So Halliburton, absolutely love here going up against the Lakers. I think he's one of my favorite spend-ups on the slate. Really good spot here. I think Siakam is a really, really good play at 8K as well. He's been really turning it on of late. Rebounding numbers have been up. He's been leading the team in rebounding chances of late. Miles Turner, I have interest in at 6.4K. She'll play around 30 minutes as long as he doesn't stay out of foul trouble. Good matchup up against the Lakers. I think he's intriguing. Neesmith should play close to 40 minutes without Mathurin. I think he's a decent point per dollar option at 5K. If you want to take a guess on who they're going to go with the backup five with Jalen Smith, Isaiah Jackson, be my guest. If I knew it was one or the other, I would like them for value. Nembhard, no thank you. I'd honestly rather just play TJ McConnell at 4.5K. I should see around 20 minutes, elite point per minute. I actually think he's a solid value. So there's a ton to like here on this Pacers team. I definitely think they're one of my favorite teams to target on the slate. Moving on to the Lakers, I think AD looks great. One of my favorite spin-ups as well on this slate, going up against the Pacers, fast-paced matchup here. This game should be played really, really quickly. So I'm really, really high on AD here. LeBron, I think, is solid too. I think I prefer AD, but I think LeBron's a good spin-up. D'Lo, Reeves, I think are solid options. Definitely prefer D'Lo to Reeves. Rui is just there for me. I don't think I'm going to touch any of this value. If Prince is out, you can, sure. Reddish, he'll be in the rotation, but you couldn't pay me to do that, I guess. Moving on to OKC, really good matchup here, specifically here for SGA. I think he's a good spin up. He's right up there with, like, you know, AD. It's like AD, SGA. Sure, you can consider Giannis, I guess. It's like, you know, spend up options. It's, yeah, I think AD and SGA are two of my favorites, point per dollar above 10K. And then below the 10K range, it's clearly Halliburton for me. But yeah, I think SGA looks good. Chet Holmgren, Jalen Williams, they're both fine contrarian plays for me. Chet's minutes have been up of late. Earlier in the year, he was only playing around 30 minutes a game, but he's been playing low 30s minutes of late. Good shot blocker, double-double upside. So, like, I'm intrigued there. I definitely prefer him to Jalen Williams. Josh Giddey at 5.7K looks fine. Should play low 20s minutes. Another good point per minute guy. There's stuff the stat sheet. I would say he's probably getting to the price point to where he should be, but still firmly in play. It's a good matchup. Lou Dort, playable. If he hits his shots, he has a ceiling. Fine for salary relief. Good defender, can get some steals. If you want to mess with like Casey Wallace, Kenrich Williams, be my guest, but I have a feeling more value will open up. Moving on to the Bucks, yeah, Giannis, I don't have to break down Giannis. He's always going to be a good spend-up. Doesn't matter what the matchup is. Minutes are up from last year. That's the good thing, right? Giannis last year, he was not playing more than 35 minutes. He's playing close to 40 minutes in competitive games this year. That's the good thing, right? But yeah, doesn't matter the matchup. Giannis always going to be a great spend-up there. Damian Lillard, I think he's priced right. Guy that I do like here is Chris Middleton. First game back last game. Or was it his first game? I'm not entirely sure. I guess second game back, played 33 minutes. I mean, if they're going to keep him off his limit and play low 30s minutes, assuming he's in, did the Bucks? Okay. Am I tripping here? When did he get hurt? 320. Did he get hurt last? Oh, is it back-to-back? So I'd assume he sat back-to-back. Pretty sure that's the case. So assuming we are getting similar minutes from Chris Middleton at 6.6K, I do like him quite a bit in the mid-range. Brook Lopez does seem a bit too cheap at 5.3K. He's probably, him, Middleton, to be honest, my favorite plays on this team. Fine as like a last piece in at center for me. Bobby Portis, he's priced right. Beasley, I mean, just fine. It's like a filler play as well. I would say he's probably priced right. I'm not going to mess with this grouping of like Pat Bev, Jay Crowder, Pat Connaughton, but if I had to pick one, I guess Crowder, but don't like them really at all. All right, we're going to go through the Warriors pretty quickly. I don't like anything here. I think the value plays are where I'm looking to here. You would think that they're going to need Trace Jackson Davis's size out there going up against Minnesota, assuming Rudy Gobert is in. He's already been playing high 20s minutes, like good point per minute guy. I do think he stands out as a really solid point per dollar play. Now, if he's going to be chalk, which I expect him to get some ownership, you could make the argument to fade. But yeah, I do like Trace quite a bit. Definitely prefer him to Wiggins. And then I am intrigued by Chris Paul, Brandon Podziemski at 5.2K, 5.4K respectively. Both should see high 20s minutes, both stat sheet stuffers, both good point per minute guys. So I'm intrigued by both these guys. I think they're fine filler plays. Like if you land on one as the last piece in, I think it's completely fine at their price points. Just a really treacherous matchup here going up against Smitty. Klay Thompson, he's priced right. I do not like Draymond. I do not like Kuminga. And then Steph Curry, I mean, 8.7K, it's fine. Sure, why not? Has a ceiling, but yeah, tough matchup here. Moving on to Minnesota, so it's all going to depend on what they do with the starting lineup. Last game they started Naz Reid, but they started Kyle Anderson in the second half. We'll see what they do. If they start like a Naz Reid, sure, I like Naz Reid at 7K, assuming he doesn't get benched in the second half. Rudy Gobert is a guy I'm really, really high on. He should be able to feast on this Golden State front court. He's playing close to 40 minutes a game. Good shot blocker. Probably going to get you like 15 rebounds in this matchup. Going to probably get you a double-double as well. So, yeah, I really like Rudy Gobert as a center option on this slate. Anthony Edwards, I think, is a very solid spend up. Mike Conley, kind of similar to like Josh Giddey, the Golden State guards. I think it's like solid as a last piece in at that price point. And then whether they start Kyle Anderson or they start Naz Reid, I do think Kyle Anderson is firmly in play. He got some backup five run last game. So I do like Kyle Anderson, even if he comes off the bench at 5.3K. McDaniels is fine at 4.7K. Fine as like a filler. Should play big minutes. Good defender. It's okay. Don't think I get to much else though. If for some reason Rudy Gobert is out, then you know what to do. Then we're jamming Naz Reid. Then slow-mo looks amazing. McDaniels would be a solid value. Mike Conley looks a bit better. Anthony Edwards be a really good spin up. So keep an eye on that. Could open up a lot more there. Cleveland, got to keep an eye on Evan Mobley. If he is in, I would assume Niang would go back to the bench. So they just keep LeVert in the starting lineup. So they go, Garland, LeVert, Okoro, Mobley, and Jared Allen. I would expect Mobley to be on some type of limit. So probably impossible to play Mobley. Also would hurt Jared Allen a bit. Still be in play in GPPs for me. But I'd still be pretty high on like Caris LeVert, Darius Garland. 1-2 punch here. They're doing everything offensively for this team, especially Caris LeVert at 7.3K. Still be pretty high on both those guys. Niang I probably wouldn't play, and then Okoro I think is fine for value. And then Sam Merrill probably won't change much. We'll probably see around 20 minutes off the bench. Guy that's going to chuck when he's out there. I still think he's solid for value. I wouldn't even consider Marcus Morris at that point too. If Mobley's out, then I do think Niang's a solid value. Then I think Okoro's a solid value. Merrill doesn't really change too much. He'd still be decent. Then I like Jared Allen. Still like Darius Garland, Caris LeVert. I mean, Morris, he's getting minutes. It's fine. But yeah, if no one's going to play Cleveland, once again, because it's a tough matchup going up against Miami, I think you can get some low-owned options there that look pretty good. Moving on to Miami, so it's all going to depend on Caleb Martin, Jamie Jackson for me. If they're both out, there is a value play I do like here because they're closing with Caleb and Jamie over Jovic and Patty Mills. But if one or both out, I think Jovic is going to have to play all the minutes he can handle tomorrow. So if they're both out or one's out, I like Jovic for value quite a bit. If they're both out, Highsmith will get more run. Might see a bit more Mills, Delon Wright, etc. But the main standout there would be Jovic. And then, Butler, Bam, Rozier all look pretty similar to me point per dollar. I think Butler would be my favorite, but no standouts there. And then if one of these guys play and one doesn't, then I like whoever does play. If they're both in, then they're okay as like last pieces in. Then it's going to be a huge downgrade to Jovic. I don't know if I get to the value. So that's going to wrap it up. Sorry for the delay on the video, and I will talk to you all later.